This is Providence Television International, the game changer.
First of all, thanks for staying tuned to Providence Television International, the game changer. Welcome to the program Thoughts and Visions of Dr. Emmanuel Egariba. My name is Ugbebo Ikekwa, and just like the name of the program implies, I have a guest here, and just like the name of the program implies, Dr. Emmanuel Egariba, because it is tailored towards his thoughts and visions. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Well, thank you very much. Actually, this is a regular program. There's no mistake about that. So it will be on for quite a long while, and I believe this is tapping into my thoughts on various aspects of nation building. So for our viewers at home and abroad, I say welcome to you all.
Well, like I've said before, thank you for staying tuned. The topic for today is the Nigerian elite as Albatross. So many people out there might not understand the word Albatross as an impediment, and Dr. Emmanuel Egariba will be expatiating on that today. Sir, do you think that the Nigerian elite are actually an impediment to the progress of Nigerians?
Well, first of all, we must situate the topic properly. There are two key words there. The elite and then the issue of Albatross.
Yes.
All right. The elite, who is the elite really? I mean, come to think of it. First of all, the elite is seen as the leader in many aspects. The rich, the powerful, and the highly connected. Okay? And you find them everywhere, but we'll come to that shortly.
Right.
And then, of course, Albatross means there's a hindrance, there's an obstacle to persist, an unyielding kind of obstacle which needs to be surmounted. And that, I think, has been the problem in this country. Now, the elite as an Albatross, we'll find them. You'll find the elite everywhere. Incidentally, in leadership circles, for example, the government, in politics, the three arms of government, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. You'll find them there. You'll find them in academics. You'll find them even in the traditional institution. Now, the difference between the elite and the others is that these are the people who hold the people down. Okay? They want to subjugate as much as possible. They want to keep the status quo to be sure that their personal interests are perpetrated all the time. And as I said, you'll find them across the country. As an Albatross, yes. I mean, if you have that kind of tendency, chances are that they don't want the people to be part of the whole process. In other words, they want to shortchange the system. They want to ensure that they perpetrate all that they are doing, and they want to make the people feel that they are the overlords. All right. It's some kind of feudalism, really, if you want to put it that way. And I believe, and this has always been my position, that we don't need to have the elite for survival. Even if you have them in leadership positions, for instance, there must be kind of connectivity between them and the people out there. But the situation in Nigeria is such that, and this is unfortunate because there are more in political circles, for instance, they really want to perpetrate. They want to subjugate. They are the ones who will want to rig elections, and things like that in their own favor. They are the ones who want to do things against the rule of law. They are the ones who want to shortchange the judicial process. So they are there. They are there all the time. And unfortunately, there is nothing the average Nigerian can do about it, unfortunately, because the system itself is so polluted that you begin to see them as a special breed, okay? A special breed in the sense that they are the untouchable, in some sense. So we have them. And that's a big hindrance to national development efforts. Okay, I'm not saying that people cannot be rich, they cannot be wealthy, they cannot have connections, but don't use them to subjugate the people. And I think that's the main difference here.
Okay. If we want to go back to sometime in the 18th century, when France had a revolution, we're talking about the bourgeois and the proletarians.
Okay.
Yes, well, that is the kind of situation we're seeing in Nigeria. But there was a kind of change, because you made mention of the fact that you don't think Nigerians can do anything about it now. And so, what is the way forward?
The way forward is, obviously, it is still the Nigerian species that we're talking about. I said that maybe loosely because, I mean, for now, what can the people really do? Okay? But there's a lot that can be done. I mean, taking examples from Gandhi, for instance, the father of modern India, and he talked about civil disobedience, and things like that. Look at what Nigerians are going through at the moment. And it's in the public domain, by the way. There's so much suffering in the land, okay? For no fault of theirs, right? So, but they can speak out in a way that will make the people think. I mean, the people governing them, the way that can make them think, in a way that can make them readjust. But that doesn't come easy, because it has to be forceful. Forceful in the sense that, yes, you use the instrumentality of the media, and things like that to be able to reach out to these people. Okay, that's one of them. Another thing, it's, yes, I've just talked about it. We need to let the leaders know that the people have a voice. The people have a voice. For instance, we talk about representative kind of government. The people can recall their representatives if they are not doing well. They have the power of recall. They are not using it. Okay? And a lot of members in the House of Assembly, in the National Assembly, are doing things contrary to the wishes of the people by their lifestyle and all of that. So the people then should have a recall capacity to call them back.
Do the people actually know that they have that power?
Of course they do, and maybe by way of enlightenment. Okay? They do. The power is there for them to have to recall their representatives who are not serving their best interest. So these are issues that must be considered in the long run.
And that was how because we're talking about the Nigerian elite as an Albatross. And I know some time ago you talked about something like the INEC. If we have an elite there, that there could be a change. And so if we're now saying that they are an Albatross, how do we...
No, I didn't quite say that. I said we must have a square peg in a square hole.
Okay.
Right. What that means is that whoever the chairman of INEC is must go through the crucible.
Okay.
Must go through the right process, and that means there must be a recourse to propriety.
Okay.
All right. And I prefer the solution. The solution would be that gather a group of people, and we have them in large numbers in this country, retired chief justices of this country, people in academics, who are without blemish.
Okay.
Yes, that was the key word. Without blemish. And we know them. People in the organized private sector, for instance. They might not be in the mold of the elite because they are not against the people.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
I mean, in this country, we know those who are against the people. I mean, let nobody make any mistake about it. But there are people, by their utterances and by their actions, you can tell that they are on the side of the people. The elite in this country are not on the side of the people. So we must pick somebody from the lot and make them go through the process. Maybe 3 or 4 of them, subject them to all kinds of examination.
Okay.
All right? And then finally they pick one and they bring that forward to the National Assembly. In that case, it is not the president who has the prerogative of choosing who the chairman of INEC is, as it is now. So that way, the INEC chairman will be responsible to the people rather than the government or even the president. Okay? That is my take. And I think this has been canvassed in so many areas by some well-meaning Nigerians.
All right. During the course of our discourse, you talked about the voice of the people.
Yeah.
Those who are close to those in power, the leaders, they don't actually hear, they don't actually know what the pulse of the individuals out there are because of those that they surround themselves with.
So there's no doubt that they hear, they see. I mean, there's no leader in this country who cannot tell whether the people are suffering or not. Except perhaps there's the element of sadism. But it goes beyond that. Even the president himself has said that he knows that Nigerians are suffering. Okay, and that's why he has brought reforms. But whether those reforms are working, that's the question people are asking. So there's no reason why. I mean, in any case, it's a single environment we're all living in. All right? And this is where the media even comes in, by the way. The newspapers report it on a regular basis. The television stations, the radio stations, they announce it. They announce the suffering in the land. So there's no way the elite or the leaders now can be insulated from the feelings or from the pains that the people are going through. It is practically impossible. They know, except that they deliberately want to avoid the consequences. They want to avoid the solution to this problem because they want to perpetrate themselves. And that's the reason why people are now saying that in some ways, they have weaponized hunger and things like that in their own favor. Yes.
And so coming to avoiding solutions, the present-day Nigeria, we've seen policies that are practically not working. Although people like the CBN governor would always come out to tell us things are going well. The Edun Minister for Finance would always come out to tell you that things are still going well. Nigerians are feeling the heat. What about policy, taking a back step on policies? Do you advocate this, and do you see it as something that is possible in Nigeria today?
Well, there are policy issues, but you also have policy somersaults. All right? You have a policy today, it's not working, then you change it. And in any case, what I've always said is this. Why must we have policies that cannot stand the test of time?
Okay.
Yes, that's why we have policy somersaults. I mean, the government says something today, in the next couple of weeks, it is changed completely. And we have had series of this kind of scenario. So, but I think that, yes, policies must be well thought out to start with. They must stand the test of time. And they must be for the people. That's the problem. Excuse me. That's the problem in this country. Most policies are not for the people. Okay? Otherwise, if a government is in power and it's a listening government, there's no reason why it cannot pander to the wishes of the people.
Okay.
As aided by the media. That's the role the media has to play. And I think the media in Nigeria has been playing that role, well, kind of creditably, to tell governments across the country, I'm not even talking about the federal government alone, even the state government, that look, the people are suffering, they need water, they need good roads, infrastructure, they need housing, they need all sorts of things. But government must listen. In fact, to be honest, the Constitution is right to have said that the basic reason why government is in place is to make sure that the people's welfare is taken care of, security and all that. So that's where we are. And I believe that if leadership is upright and is up and doing, all of these things will be well taken care of.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You may ask yourself, for instance, there are some people in this country, among the elite, who are richer than government. Yes, and they want to perpetrate all these things. There are people in this country who will always want to shortchange the cause of justice because they are well connected.
Okay.
Yes. There are people in this country who want to influence government rather negatively because they are also highly connected. That's the issue. Yes. Look at the eastern part of the country, for instance. The people are on one side, the governors are on one side. Why can't there be a synergy so that they can pull the same rope?
Okay.
Yeah, that's just a typical example, by the way. So that's it.
All right, still talking about the elite. We're going to touch on a very, very sensitive issue now. We have a situation where an elite in the country has been able to shortchange, like you said, the cause of justice. And this is even supposed to be in the know as regards the arrest of an individual for a civil case. If we have this continuously happening, you get to be in the country, is there any way forward for the average or single citizen in the country?
The answer to that is we must build institutions.
Okay.
We must build institutions. I've said it repeatedly in this country. Institutions should not be abused. It is abuse of institutions that leads us to all this kind of problems. The judiciary should not be abused. It's a major institution in this country. The police is an institution. It must not be abused. What we are seeing now, it has gone viral, by the way, is that, look, an offense was committed in Lagos. I mean, the fellow was taken to Akure and all, Ekiti or whatever. And it's for a civil matter. Okay. And again, the police was used to go and arrest him.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, it's in the public domain already. All right? And what I'm saying is that if the institution was strong enough, I mean, the police, for example, they won't do that.
Okay.
No, they won't. And if the judiciary is strong enough, they will look into this matter very seriously, and at the end, we'll get justice. Okay? So I want to hammer on strong institutions all over. Not just talking about the judiciary and the police. We must have, look at INEC, for instance. Voter turnout is getting lower and lower by the minute. There must be a reason for it. The reason is people are losing interest in what INEC is doing. Okay? In Edo State, for instance, in the last election, voter turnout was lower than the previous event. In Ondo State, the same problem. So gradually, they are losing interest in what INEC stands for. And INEC, I think, should stand for probity, for excellence, for transparency, and all of that. But what are we saying in this country today? The reverse is virtually the case. So we must build institutions. Because, you see, if you build institutions, the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature will be on their feet. Will be on their feet, solidly on their feet. So that should answer your question fairly directly.
It has.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, it has. I think just before we go, you have a parting shot for the elites, as the case may be.
It's very simple. It's very, very simple. Do not use your position to oppress. Yes, do not use your position. It's feudalistic in nature. Okay? Do not use your position by way of wealth, by way of connections or connectivity with the high-ups, or perhaps your powerful position in government to oppress people. Look at what happened the other day. A member of the House of Reps or senator beating up a young man. Yes. He'll behave like a typical elite. Nothing, okay, I will lock you up, I will do this, I will do that, nobody will know where you are. You cannot say that. I mean, in an ideal situation, in the ideal country, you cannot say that. Because you are infringing on the rights, the liberties of the other person. He has his fundamental rights. And only for him to come out openly to say he wants to apologize when the damage has been done. So we must look at all those things. I mean, some of our Nigerian elites, they are power drunk. They are really power drunk, and they believe that if they make some million somewhere, they can lord it over everybody. And I think that is wrong. First of all, it's even immoral. You cannot do that. And most of them, the money they think they have is gotten from very negative sources.
I actually wanted to come to that.
Yes.
Because the elites, you get to me, in Nigeria, their sources of the source of wealth is questionable.
It's questionable. I mean, it's really questionable because, first of all, the money they think they have is gotten from very wrong sources.
Okay.
And you begin to think of what they're even using the money for. They are using the money to oppress people. And typically, when the average Nigerian elite has money, it shows off. The tendency is for him to show off that he has arrived. Everybody can now kowtow to him. Everybody becomes a stooge, and everybody must do his bidding. That is wrong. The Nigerian elite does not have humility as one of his strong points. No, he doesn't. He doesn't at all. He wants to lord it over. He wants to behave as if he's the overlord. That is not, in the true sense of it. So that way is an albatross. Okay. Particularly when he's in politics, you find them more in political environment. Okay. A Nigerian elite, who is a politician, will tell you that we'll promise you all sorts of things during the campaign period. At the end of it, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it comes back to you, maybe in another 4 years, to campaign for the same thing. But again, the antidote to that is education.
Okay.
That is why we must encourage our people to get education. Because you see, when you are educated, apart from knowing your right from your left, you are not easily deceived. Because most of the people we have in this country, who are, by the way, they are large in number as voters, they can't fathom the real situation from these people. They cannot decipher if it's the truth or if it is not. So they get shortchanged. Always, nearly always, every 4 years, it's the same old story. The same people are coming back to tell them that, we'll give you water, we'll give you roads, and at the end of the 4 years, nothing is done. The same set of people.
And so
In collaboration with other people like them.
Exactly.
Yes, in collaboration with other people like them. So you find that in that kind of scenario, there cannot be meaningful development. There cannot be. I mean, for instance, in Western countries, let's look at it more seriously. In Western countries, for instance, a leader is of the media as the president or the prime minister. He's not chauffeur-driven. Yes, he's not. He rides to the office all by himself. Occasionally, yes, he can take a chauffeur. But here in this country, the elite must prove to everybody that he's on top. That is the average Nigerian elite for you. He must prove that he is a powerful person. He's wealthy, he's powerful, he's well connected. And so when he's going on a small trip of about 1 or 2 kilometers, he must go with a convoy of about 20 cars. I mean, that's absurd. In fact, it's the height of absurdity. Okay? You will find an ordinary chairman of a council, he will look for police escorts and aids when there is so much insecurity in the land. Yes, just a chairman. Why can't a chairman drive himself? I've always held on to that. Why can't a commissioner drive himself to the office?
Okay.
Why can't a governor once in a while go around and mix with the people? There should not be any isolation, for goodness sake. Mix with the people, let the people feel you. Let the people know who you are. Don't hide behind a veil. Yes, and don't speak from behind a mask. Let the people get to know your resume. Let them know your resume, who you are. Mix with them. Yes, don't be on your Olympian height and be talking down on the people just because you are in a position that is transient. Absolutely transient. Okay? So that's the problem of the elite in this country. And they want to hold the people down in perpetuity. Yes. I say with all sense of responsibility, our elite, they want to hold the people down because the people don't mean anything to them.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't.
Okay. Just before we go now, I remember very well when you were chief press secretary, you were offered a house.
I refused.
And you refused?
I refused to take it because, I mean, we could have, and we did, we put it to a better use because I was already in my own house. Yeah, a small house, for myself, my wife, and little kids then. And I was satisfied. I was really, really satisfied. Okay? I didn't want it because, you see, as if I knew, even as a young man, I said, look, government must come and go. Okay? So I was being prophetic. And then suddenly Abacha came and drove everybody away. If I remember some commissioners then, their things were on the streets. Yeah, but I went quietly back to my house. And in any case, I also told the kids, from today, Uncle Nosa, my driver there, will no longer come to pick you people to school. I will drive you people to school. That's the way it is. Yes. We are held on too much to the fancy of office, to the perks of office. That's the elite. And that's why they don't want to let go. They must hold on to power, they must hold on to positions, and in the process, you shall change the people. Okay? They want to hold on to everything. You'll find them everywhere. Even the academics, you'll find them there. I mean, the guy wants to be a vice chancellor, he must go around the entire country just because he wants to be a VC. Okay? Because he knows the perks of office, of the office of the vice chancellor. Why? If you go through the normal process, why must you bribe? Why must you do all sorts of things? Just because you want to be a vice chancellor. So it is the same process. It's the same process. We must denounce these frivolities. We must denounce all of them and just live a simple. In fact, it comes to the issue of simplicity. Yes, the elite in this country are not simple. Okay. Simplicity is not in the agenda. Yes, it's not.
Thank you.
That's the way it is.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, like I've always said, it's always a pleasure being here with Dr. Emmanuel Egariba. Would have gone on and on, but we'll have other programs scheduled for your viewing delight. So I'll say thank you so much for staying tuned. Next week on Thoughts and Visions of Dr. Emmanuel Egariba, we'll be looking at governance as a service. So please look forward to that program. And I want to tell your friends, tell your acquaintances or anybody, just tell people that you know about Providence Television International. Simply go to YouTube and just type in Providence Television International and you're good to go.
And they should subscribe as well.
And subscribe.
Yes.
Exactly.
So that you can get notification.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you for staying tuned.